Hey Win, you were talking about different genders between player characters. You know, male players playing female characters and female players playing male characters and so on. And you offered some interesting insight on that, but I think I'll throw my 2 cents in. In my experience, I've mentioned it before somewhere that I've played with more female players in my time than with male players. And almost without fail, the female players like to play male characters a lot. It might have something to do with the fact that pretty much in my experience, almost every time somebody plays their opposite gender, they play a character who's extremely attractive. I know there's a lot of people who don't do that, but you know, in my experience, almost every time, without fail, when a female player plays a male character or a male player plays a female character, they're always very attractive, very like social, and very like charming characters. And I think that, you know, makes sense, because in my experience, female players, now I don't want to, you know, make an umbrella that every female player fits under, you know. In my experience, female players have enjoyed, you know, all this sort of attractive characters, you know, relationship drama, sexual stuff, and all that in game a lot more than male players, and have enjoyed it a lot more than the basic action and hack and slash stuff that most male players enjoy more. And I guess, you know, it's just, you know, that's why they are called chick flicks, you know, romantic comedies and all that. And guy movies are, you know, brainless summer blockbuster action flicks. You know, just to generalize, you know. You know, I don't want to, yeah, whatever. But yeah, I do think that that a lot of times when somebody's playing the opposite gender, they don't take it like, you know, I had one player who plays, you know, whichever gender she feels like playing, and she doesn't make a big deal out of it, and she basically has the amount of attention to gender as she would to like nationality of the character. It's not like if your character is Irish, you're all the time, oh, Lucky Charms, hurdy-der, you know, oh, doing stuff like that. So when she's playing, you know, a male character, she doesn't emphasize on the fact that, yes, I am a male, a girl, you know, that sort of stuff. But in a lot of cases, people take that gender as a huge character feature, as big or bigger than the character's, you know, occupation or you know, morals and motives and stuff like that. People tend to pay a lot of attention, a lot of times, to the character's gender, and I think it has something to do with the fact that because they are playing usually attractive characters, there's this little mindset of playing out some sort of a fantasy of their own. You know, I'm not saying people do that, but they might think that others think that they are doing that, you know. It's the same kind of thing where you know, for some people it might be very very nerve-wracking to play like something very, you know, sexual or something in a game, because they might think that others are thinking that, is that what you're into, and that sort of stuff. And you know, I felt that when I've played an evil character in Vampire Dark Ages, when I basically played a torturer, a sadist, a rapist. And when the scenes of rape and torture were commencing, I was at the same time I was thinking, oh, this is pretty cool. At the same time I was thinking, I hope nobody thinks this is what I'm into. Like looking at some gore websites and be like, oh, that's cool, or something. That same thing might have a big factor in playing a opposite gender, and especially for, you know, male players, I think the bar is a lot higher to play the opposite gender, you know, basically I think because of the possibility of embarrassment, perhaps, you know. I remember I once played in a game where one male player who had very deep voice, he had like this voice, and he played a female character, this necromancer woman, and he shifted his voice for the dialogue, so he was always like, and then I go there and say, hello everybody, I'm this and this, I have this sword. And there was one player who could not stop laughing every time he was doing the character dialogue, no matter how serious the situation was. But, you know, I think that might play a factor. For me personally, if you're thinking about, you know, like writing a story or something, there's really pretty small difference when you write a main character to be called Jack, and then you just change the name to Jane, and, you know, not change any personality aspects. You know, the gender doesn't need to play any bigger of a role than race or nationality or anything like that. And but it does, you know. And here's just my few cents on the subject of why I think it does. But yeah, that's all I got. Bye, Win.